Today I'm going to combine something that I saw with what I saw in Game 4 of the NBA Finals last night, and also use it to go back at some of the ridiculous claims that LeBron fans cling onto for dear life, whether there's any merit or not. I'll explain in more detail what today's show is about in just a moment, but let me warm you up with a couple of old clips.
Rose on Jordan. Into the lane. Fade away. Contact on Michael. His third.
Isaiah, this is an excellent call. Watch Michael's right shoulder and right arm. He dips it to create contact. You cannot get that kind of space. That's an excellent call.
That's at the SGA. His drive, hesitation, backer is
starting to take its toll here. Just that little stop and go.
Man, he really swung that elbow out there on that one. Dipped shoulder, swung elbow. Look at the defenders. That's not acting. He's like really getting fucking elbowed out of the way.
Shoulder and right arm. He dips it to create contact. You cannot get that kind of space. That's an excellent call. Right arm. He dips it to create contact. You cannot get that kind of space. That's an excellent call. Right arm. He dips it to create contact. You cannot get that kind of space. That's an excellent call.
A contact on Michael. His third.
Maybe the craziest thing here is not only does LeBron get away with this, LeBron James is the one who goes to the free throw line at the end of this play. You guys say that LeBron doesn't get calls and that Jordan got calls? Here's your reality check. I mean, we've been watching insanity for the last 15 years. Look at LeBron just shoving people out of the way and then taking 5 steps. There's a lot more footage coming, so you can look forward to that. Right now, I just want to break down the different categories that this video is going to talk about. 1, the game has clearly changed, but have the rules officially changed? Have the rules actually been changed? 2, the convenient excuse from LeBron fans that Jordan got all the calls. 3, another claim from LeBron fans that really only exists so that you can feel better about LeBron's behavior, and that's claiming that Jordan always complained to the refs. And finally, I'm going to reiterate the staggering statistics that self-researched NBA Facts revealed. Now, to kick us off, I want to take a look at a travel instead of an offensive foul called on Michael Jordan.
Jordan double teamed by Mullen and Miller and took too many steps.
I'm very curious what the divide is. Who agrees that this was a travel and who says it wasn't? And it's not whether I think it was a travel. The interesting thing about it is if you're a LeBron fan or like, yeah, that's definitely a travel, then what the hell do you call the crap that we're looking at today? If you agree that this is a travel, and I would say right there, that extra little hop probably is what got him whistled. Jeez. That's before the real traveling even begins in today's game. I'm choosing this one because Doris Burke actually praised him. Okay, there's the last dribble, which means that right foot is about to take a step. Call it what you want to call it. We'll call it the gather if you want to. I think the left foot is the gather, but let's call the right foot the gather just so you guys have an extra step. Good God, look at that elbow. And we have touchdown. And we have the dragging of the left foot, which becomes a step. We have the right foot step, left foot dragging again, and another step. Now remember, this is 1998, the Eastern Conference Finals. At this point, Michael Jordan not only is the GOAT, but it's clear how important he's been to the league, and they are still calling this stuff on him. Who's Shea? Who is Shea other than a falsely appointed MVP? Remember, I'm actually not arguing about that traveling call against Michael, but I am arguing against you saying that he got all the calls. I am arguing that you say he berated the refs. He did nothing after this, and it's the Eastern Conference Finals. And if what Michael did was traveling, what do you call what they do today? Look at them whistle Michael for his first step in his first finals appearance. Seems like they've been calling Michael pretty tight since the beginning. And once again, here's his berating of the refs. In this example of LeBron, notice that he's already dribbling before we get to this part. Here it is again. He's dribbling. We got the avalanche of steroids coming down the court. He shoves the other team out of the way. But look, he stops and gathers the ball with both hands before continuing on, shoves the other player out of the way, and as if all that wasn't bad enough, again, another shot of him grabbing it with two hands so that he can change directions conveniently, shoving the other team out of the way. He's cradling the ball, brings the dribble to a rest again. He does something similar against Joe Ingles here in this clip. Look at the bagless one staring at the ball. And just grab the ball, LeBron, whatever you need to do in order to change directions. While the guy that you say got all the help from the refs is getting called for his first step. With that said, I think this is a great time to go to self-researched NBA facts and statistics and let them marinate with you for the rest of the video because it's crazy. He looks at LeBron James's most recent previous 38 playoff games and then looked at Jordan's last playoff run. LeBron James, who might be the most notorious player who has existed in terms of offensive fouls and traveling, had 6 violations called on him in the last 38 playoff games. 6 total. Michael Jordan had that many called on him in just the Pacers series.
Jim only needed to look at 5 of the 7 games in that series to match LeBron.
The guy that you claim got all the help from the refs had as many violations called on him in that series as LeBron James has had called on him in his last 38 playoff games. Other than LeBron fans, whose very survival depends on living a lie, does anyone associate Michael Jordan with offensive fouls or being a notorious traveler, even if he's guilty of it? Did he do it in a way or often enough that you associate his name with it? No. In LeBron's case, you do, and yet he has less of those violations called on him than Michael Jordan. Look at this clumsy, bagless beast take another 2 steps after he's already completed his dribbling in order to have momentum shouldering the other team out of the way. And he complains at the end of this, not that he was called, but the other team did not get called. LeBron James got away with this and then complained that he didn't also get a whistle in his favor. But we have Michael Jordan being called for this?
Way short. He thought he was bumped a bit. Here comes Michael with Best at his mercy. And they call a foul on Michael at 6'6". He had the little guy, Travis Best, just 5'11", as the lone defender back. And he tried to give himself some room with the forearm, and they caught him.
Keep your eye on his left arm and his left shoulder. Right there at the elbow, he gets it up.
And look at Michael go after those refs. Remember, this is the same series that the refs let Reggie Miller do this to him. Yeah, he got all the calls. And again, look at Michael's reaction. He just comes back and handles business. Remember, I made that video back when LeBron made us suffer through this for a fingertip no call during the regular season. Michael Jordan gets shoved out of the picture during the playoffs and doesn't complain. LeBron does this, which just shows he is accustomed to getting all of the calls. Well, let's move on, because this reminds me of last night and seeing this blatant shove. Maybe it's all about just wanting to extend the series, although I think Game 4 might be a little early to be helping out the heavily favored team. As long as we're looking at shoving, let's remember that LeBron James is the king of shoving. Start with a shoulder, follow with an elbow, end with a Heisman Trophy stiff arm, and it got so bad that they even allowed him to two-hand shove other people in the Olympics. Not just in the NBA, but it's gone international. As you consider this no call, I kid you not, this is a no call, let's look at what Michael Jordan was called for.
Miller comes up with it for Chicago. Davis's second block of this first half. And an offensive foul against the Bulls.
Yeah, they caught Jordan underneath. He threw Reggie Miller away. He went to make a cut, and then he grabbed him and just shoved him out of the way. You watch him go up to fake a cut, and as he goes to fake the cut, he just throws Miller out of the way.
And Jordan picks up.
Well, Isaiah Thomas, as a commentator, was certainly happy to condemn Jordan. That didn't look like much to me. More like jiu-jitsu. Reggie Miller's going that way, and Jordan just kind of like helps him along. However you feel about the call, look at Michael Jordan's reaction. He just walks up the court. I mean, this is the guy that you say was in the ref's ear, and this is the same series that Reggie Miller just got away with shoving him? Let's look at some more calls against Jordan.
Defending Jordan, he's not backing away. He respects him, but he's going to compete against him. You're not going to get anything free on Jalen Rose.
Michael Jordan hit with the offensive foul. That's his fourth.
So you look at Jalen Rose, and he's not backing down. He's not conceding from Jordan. You watch him guarding him. He's going to take the shot. You know, out of the Fab Five at Michigan.
As I let this play through once again, I will remind you of a question that I asked earlier. Have the rules officially changed? And if so, please show me where. It's being called differently, which means more is being allowed. That's very different than there being official changing of the rules. So tell me, who benefits when the refs call it differently and allow more? LeBron or Jordan? And if Jordan's era was full of plumbers, then why is it that LeBron's era is allowed to play the way I looked when I was just starting and didn't know how to dribble? And again, look at Michael. That's a tough call in a very intense, heated series, and I don't see him going after the refs. Remember, fanboys, the stories that you were told and the stories that you repeated without bothering to verify them, all so you can remain blind witnesses. And why anyone would desperately need to remain a blind witness is beyond me.
Look at this next play in which Jordan is called for a hooking foul. I repeat, called for a hooking foul. Now look at LeBron James' hook and not get called. Just a much more obvious hook. No call. Remember, Michael Jordan, the reigning MVP in the Eastern Conference Finals, getting calls against him. LeBron James doing this stuff, not getting calls against him. Those of you who watch my channel know that I've looked at the NBA video rulebook to find out, have the rules actually changed? How is it that LeBron James gets away with so much illegal stuff? Maybe I missed the memo when they actually changed the rules. Turns out people just say that they changed the rules. They haven't changed. The refs just let people get away with things as they see fit. And who tells the refs to let certain people get away with certain things? Now, LeBron makes all of this even worse because instead of just being thankful that he's blessed with ridiculous calls in his favor, he is so delusional from all the favoritism at this point that he just goes around telling lies as if there won't be any consequences. And when people call him out for his lies, fans call it hating. Well, why should someone be allowed to lie? As Rick Bucher asked, LeBron James goes on the Pat McAfee show and explains, he doesn't deny that he flops, he explains that he flops because he's always in the lower half of getting foul calls in the NBA, which if you watch any games at all, you know that that can't possibly be true. But Rick Bucher was kind enough to break it down and shows us that he has never been lower than the top 10% in the last 6 years. And that was the worst that it got. He had a 10-year stretch in which he was in the top 2% of getting foul calls. And this delusional freak went on a talk show and told the world that he's always in the bottom half. But shame on me for calling him out for his lies. Sorry, I'm just a hater. And Jordan got all the calls.